Good morning. Today is the last day of July, the 31st, and we're just going to go through the watch list for today. But as always, before we start, let's just briefly look at the news to see what could be moving the market today. And we had news at 8:30 and 8:15, and we saw a bit of a indecision and a move which broke the trend line, which I'm going to go into in a second. We've got news at 9:45, 10's a big news day today, and then later on at 2:30 we've got the Fed interest rate, FOMC decision, and the press conference. So even though we've broken the highs and there's an area we've been watching for the last few days, may be a strange few hours leading up to FOMC and to the Fed rate decision. Okay, on my screen we are looking at the hourly time frame for the S&P 500 E-mini futures, and as you can see, let's just open up my pen. As you can see, this trend line we've held for some time, since the 16th of July we've broken, and another area we've been watching for some time as well is this area. Oh, hang on, that's my alert to alert when we get back in. So we've been watching this. Oh, what's going on? I can't draw a line. Oh, okay, looks like my pen's not working today. 1 second. Let's just close it and reopen it again. I don't want to close that. I think it's time for a reboot on my machine shortly. There we go. Epic pen. It seems to freeze quite often and it just doesn't want to do much. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to load, we've been watching this level 55.34 for a few days. We rejected it once. It's the bottom of this pivot we've been watching as well. So this entire area, hopefully you see how that works. Here we go. So this is the area we've been watching for some time, and that's better. And we've finally broken through it today in the pre-market. Not only have we broken through that, we've broken this downtrend line which we've been in on the hourly and the daily, and also we've broken over the 200 moving average, this purple line. So quite a few areas, there's a few confirmations already. So what I'm waiting for today is for it to pull back into this region. I want it to pull back down into this area 55.34. I'll consider all the way down to 55.20, this region here, for a bounce to continue the trend up. I'm in no rush to trade today with FOMC later, so if it just keeps going, I'm not going to chase it, and I probably won't trade after 11 AM Eastern time. Another area watching for a bounce will be this region here, which is 54.36. There's some weird stuff going on. I think my computer's due for a reboot. It hasn't been rebooted for some time. So I'm watching 54, basically 54.40 for a bounce, and I'm looking for the retest break, which we've broken the retest in for the long. That's my two areas I'm watching: 55.34, 54.36. That's right, yeah. And I think that's it. Rejection. If we get back up into this area, 56.20, 5600, I may consider a rejection, but we'll see where we are. Maybe FOMC will bring it up there later. And obviously if we lose this area below 54.40, then I'll be looking for a break and retest short. So that's really the areas I'm watching. I'll just quickly recap. I'm looking for a break and retest of 55.34, possibly pre-market high. If I'm hoping that we will hold this level and this pivot, and I'm looking for a bounce back down here at 55.40, 54.36, and I think that's it. So I can't see anything more significant. So basically my main aim is to break and retest of that level up. That's what I'm watching for today, my main bias. Let's look at SPY next. SPY, you can see, is also broken this area. It's not quite as defined as in ES, but we've got the pivot over as well. We've got this set as a daily level, this yellow line. So it's broken it, and I really want to see it come back into this region for the bounce back up again. Yesterday's high, anywhere around there we can watch it come back in for the bounce. If you are long, then a decent target would be 552 or the 200 moving average, a purple line. Otherwise, we've not got a great deal of volume until we get up to this first volume shelf, and happens to be up here at 550, 550 area. And that's all I'm watching again on that one, but I'll be mainly watching it on ES. SPX, we've got a couple of key areas, quite important areas to watch for. We've got this 5500 rejection area, so I don't really want to go long on the break and retest if we are below this area. So I'll be watching that on the open. When we open, we won't know until it opens, but it's going to be up here somewhere. If you go by previous days on ES where we've been holding that level, I suspect we're going to open above 5500. So we can watch 5500 for the bounce. And obviously if we come back down into 5400, we can watch that area for the bounce as well. I've got 5500 up here, but one area we have rejected continuously for the last few days is 5487. So potentially that may be a better level to watch for the retest than 5500. As you can see, that's been rejecting for some time. Okay, on to NASDAQ next. Okay, it's not quite as strong as ES right now. It's not quite broken that level, so we can potentially watch for the break and retest into 19367, 19400, that area. We do have the 200 moving average not far above it, and we can get rid of this trend line, that's now broken. But we do have a rejection area, which is this region. Okay, I'm not sure. Give me a second. Rectangle. So for all that, we have this rejection area here, which we're nowhere near, and so we can watch that area for a pull into that area and a rejection, and that's at 19800, 19700, this region here. So that's my main rejection area for the NASDAQ. Or the break and retest, but like I said, we're still below the 200 moving average, where ES is looking more, looking much more bullish, where we've broken over that area, and we've broken over the 200, and we've broken the trend line, and we're just waiting for it to pull back to find an uptrend entry. Okay, so QQQ, same. You can see the 200 moving average is still at 476, and that happens to be an area we can watch for rejection, and we can watch for the break and retest over 467, 75, 76, that area, and we can also watch this area for a bounce. Next up is crude oil. Okay, so we didn't reject that level. Well, we did actually. We came in, rejected it, and then we broke through. We're kind of reclaiming this trend line again, and that's a perfect rejection off of the 200 moving average, so in the pre-market. So we can watch for the break and retest of pre-market high, and that'll be breaking and holding over the 200. We do have a potential target 78.88. That was a pivot from there. We can probably readjust that level now. That's the more accurate level, and that will be 78.60. So we can use that as a target if we do catch the break and retest long. And then again, we've got trend line at the top. We can watch for rejection. Coincides with this level here, but the best level probably is not until we get up there. And 81 is a rejection area as well, and that's where our point of control is currently. Bounce wise, look at that. So we held these levels here. Let's just put that in. So we got a couple of pivots, 3 pivots there, it came down, got close to retesting, a pivot there where it broke out, where the floor became the ceiling, and then it came back, and we come back to retest it again yesterday. I still didn't start on daily, so I will look at daily volume in a second to see if there's any clues what could happen today. Gold looking pretty bullish. I quite like what I'm seeing here. That's just a little bull flag. If we get above 24.70, we can look for the break and retest long. Potential target will be 24.80 area, 24.77. If we lose this area, we can watch for a bounce around 24.50. But look at this area, it's just been consolidating and building momentum, volumes increasing slightly as well. So potentially watching this area for a breakout. That's it really on gold, just keep an eye on that. Again, FOMC at 2:30 makes me pretty reluctant to really want to trade. I may just trade half risk if I do today. This is the Russell 2000. You can see we've been holding this area here. We haven't come back down to retest it. We're in the upper half of this trend line now, potentially looking for a breakout, or if we lose it, looking for the breakdown. I put a couple levels in today as well because we didn't have anything in between. So we can watch for a bounce at 24.44, and I say rejection at the pre-market high. We've rejected that already. That's based on an area of confidence along here. So 22.77 is a rejection area. We can potentially watch out for rejection, or we can watch it for a break and retest long. And then we've got this trend line as a target. YM, well, I do quite like this level here. So we've broken out. So we held that level there, we've held it there for a few days, we held it again yesterday, broke it, retested it, came back out, broke out, retested, and we stayed above it. So if we can get above the pre-market high, we can watch for a break and retest long into potentials at all-time highs, So I do quite like that, so I'm going to put an alert on this one. I'm going to put an alert just before we get to pre-market high. And then bounce wise, we can watch yesterday's low for the bounce. You can see we've been holding this point of control as well. Pivot, tops of candles was the ceiling, became the floor, then the ceiling, now it's the floor again. And we can watch for a bounce around that area, 40,000 and 40,700. Bitcoin, let's go to the daily. Still looking pretty bullish. Can't quite break this trend line. We've tried a couple of times. Maybe third time lucky. Knock on the door. How many times? Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5, 6, 7, 8. So maybe 9 times lucky we can break it and trade out. I don't personally want it to break out because I really want it to come back down here so I can add some more ads. I really want it to come and fall right down if it can. But this is a classic bull flag, and if you look at the weekly or even the monthly, what makes it even more bullish is this cup and handle pattern as well. We've got the cup coming round, and then we've got the handle, and that's a bullish pattern. So we've been watching for the break and retest long, and that's why if I go back to the hourly, you can see I've added a few ads in. 1 hour. So I've added a few times in here. I added when we got down to this area, and then I added again up here as well. A bit of a heavier ad because I was anticipating the breakout of this channel, but doesn't matter if it doesn't. I want it to come back down. I want to add again down there, just to add. I don't have much Bitcoin, but I just want to add to the position if I can. Let's keep it on the daily because it's easier to see. And that's it really. Let's go back to ES, look at daily, and then a quick look at the order flow. So daily, look at this volume coming in. as we're selling off. Are we going to see an end of this trend here? And we are back in this area, key area as well, so we're either going to break out today and come back up, maybe retest all-time highs, or we're going to sell right off and continue the trend down. Volume wise, so look, so we've got big volume on selling candles, reducing volume on buying candles, increasing volume on the red candle, funny how that is, and then we had a big wide range candle with not much volume today, but it's still early day, the market's not opened yet, so we'll keep an eye on this. It could be a bit of a trap potentially. Everyone's seeing everyone buying in the highs and then the market just pushes down. So like I said, FOMC later, so let's keep an eye on that. Ending volume as well, you could also say that's ending volume at the end of a trend. We have volume starting to come in up there, so that big volume at the top as well. So it's difficult to know exactly what the market wants to do. Key area is where we are right now. I'm not sure I did that. So this is our key area here, tops of these pivots, and then we've got another key area just here as well. So tops of pivots, bottoms of pivots, and we're just coming into that area right now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few hours before FOMC, and whether FOMC is a push up or a push down, or it's a mute event and it doesn't do anything, just carries on sideways, and we're putting in this bear flag continue. Because all I'm seeing at the moment is just a bear flag waiting for the next leg down. That's what I'm seeing. And you know, over the last few days we've been below the 50 as well. We are above the 50 again now, so the outcome of today will be interesting. Okay, let's have a quick look at order flow. Just remind ourselves of key levels. We're looking for a retest of 55.34 area, and we could go all the way down to 55.20, that area. So this is the area we're watching for the retest around here. And then let's look at order flow.